about when we take our wedge, just in terms of like some of like the overall things that we saw. Yeah, Tony, you be the catcher here. I'll be the umpire. Okay. Now, you say he's in fair territory. Yep, just step up like right to that darker spot there. Remember, there are two planes to this play. Seth's plane, and we'll talk about this runner's plane right here. Remember, he can kind of go outside a little bit, but if you find yourself outside here, okay, you're probably going to be outside the play. The same is true if you go all the way down straight through the line. You're probably still going to be outside of his plane. So if you remember the examples in the video, both Phil and Andrew called everything, remember, from right about here. So more often than not, that's about the time that you're going to get there. What's important to make sure that we see is that if they start to go into like a head-on tag where he is going to go meet Seth right there, obviously if I stay here, I'm going to get straight line. That's the only time at which we can adjust here and then go straight off of here. Okay? Now hold up. Now let's say Seth decides to go ahead. It looks like it's going to be a straight-on tag and Seth goes to his right a little bit. Now all of a sudden I've got a cross step here. Okay? But here's the thing about it. If we stay right about here and we stay or even go outside of his plane a little bit, inevitably once he passes the fielder, who am I in the way of? The runner, because that plane is coming at you, which is why we want to stay out of that plane. Does that make sense? And then likewise, the other plane of the play is obviously our catcher. So yeah, same spot there. Okay. If I get outside of him and there happens to be a straight on tag, I mean, now I'm kind of screwed here as I'm trying to move, right? Very difficult to see. Okay. And if I get outside of him, my angles are going to be all kinds of twisted and contorted. The last thing then to talk about here real quick is when the tag happens, because what we've got a tendency to do, what a lot of people did, and I talked to a lot of, Don, I remember it with you too, but as this play happens, go ahead, it continues to develop, say it's a swipe tag on his back. We kind of assume that this is the play we're going to see, okay? And if I hang here, I may not get that one. It's almost one more step and a lean to get exactly to where you need to be as that play happens. So when we talk about getting set happens to be more so with the call. Now remember, our steps then are going to take us into a position where our head is still. So that's why we're stepping around with it. Stay in that athletic position allows you to lean or take one more step and get a greater angle on that one. Okay? Anybody else have anything?
Yeah. So what he was just talking about the tag, about being in the right angle. Okay. 9 times out of 10, every tag is going to be like this, right? Right? That's easy. What about the ones where it's a line drive, he catches it here and then tags here? That's why distance is important. Because if you're back here, are you going to see that tag? No. Right here, are you going to see that tag? Probably. Okay? It's exactly like your replica of the fielder. You're in his back pocket. Okay?
Any questions from anybody here before we go in? Anything at all? Was this useful?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. How many of you guys feel a lot more comfortable with the wedge now? Cool. All right,
you know
good.
that Andy
Who's
can't throw.
confused?
Yeah.
Who's confused? Nobody?
No.
Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and get on in. I think it's